Yo, how's it going, beautiful people? Waifu Belector here, the only fair human on earth, back with another video. And of course I watched the Game Awards, but I hadn't gotten around to talking about any of it. So today, let's remedy that. Because I actually thought it was a really good show, definitely one of the best Game Awards in the last few years. Even if, of course, I disagree with some nominees and where some of the awards went, but that's gonna happen no matter what. Overall, there was a good balance of awards and announcements, and the announcements were good. Not sure why Snoop Dogg was rapping, but whatever. Today, I want to talk about the announcements we got. Just give my impressions and takes on some of them. I won't be covering every single announcement, just the ones I find interesting or notable. And I won't be spending a crazy amount of time on all of them. For the most part, I'll move this along fairly quickly because there were a lot of announcements, but we'll slow it down and get a little long-winded for certain things. So let's go ahead and get into it. Remember to give the video a like if you end up enjoying, and maybe consider subscribing as well. Thanks in advance. Now let's go. Okay, now the first game I want to talk about is Rematch. This is a new game from Slowclap, the developers of Sifu, and it looks like fucking Sifu soccer. It just looks cool. I'm not a soccer fan, I don't play EAFC or anything like that. The most I've engaged with anything soccer related is Mario Strikers back in the day. But still, a good looking game is a good looking game, and Rematch looks good. Because even beyond the smooth and stylish visuals, this doesn't appear to just be your standard football affair. There seem to be some cool trick shots and less than realistic footwork happening to just make some things a little more exciting than your average soccer game. And it actually seems like Slowclap said to themselves, so, you know how Rocket League is like car soccer? What if it was just soccer? Legit, we're gonna be playing Soccer Game Inception in 2025. This is just a cool, exciting kind of arcade-looking soccer game that I think is really needed, and there's kind of a hole for, because as it stands, pretty much all soccer games right now are just dry sports sims. But yeah, I guess that's it. Rematch looks cool. You can register for beta invites right now, and I personally might just have to do that. But now I'll talk about what was probably the biggest trailer to come from the Game Awards, The Witcher 4. And I honestly don't have a lot to say because this was a completely CGI trailer and there was no release window. But I can promise you the release window won't be in 2025. It might release in 2026 at the earliest, but my bets are on 2027. Because just as Cyberpunk wrapped up last year, that was when we got the announcement that all hands were on deck and The Witcher 4 went into full-scale production. That probably means all the conceptualizing and general groundwork like scripting is already done, and they'll likely use the next 2 years or so to actually cook up the real meat and potatoes game part of the game. It is exciting, but hard to get super excited about something that I know is so far away. But hey, if this game releases in 2027, that'll be the same year as the Arcane Studios Blade game. Remember that? Arcane Lyon, not Arcane Austin. That got shut down. Jesus, 2027 is so far away. Anyway, there was also the reveal of Ciri as the protagonist, but everyone already kind of knew that. Still, it's cool. I guess we'll see more in the distant future. Okay though, let's go ahead and now talk about Elden Ring Night Reign. This was a very unexpected announcement. I wasn't sure what I was looking at, and I'm still not 100%, but a primarily co-op take on Elden Ring seems like a cool idea. I mean, since Elden Ring came out, I wished its co-op wasn't weird and annoying, and 3 years later, we'll now have a standalone co-op spin-off, even if it isn't the pure version of Elden Ring with better co-op. Because this game also seems to have been confirmed to be a roguelike with sort of a battle royale element, still though minus any PvP. You run around looting and killing things as a ring of blue flames slowly encloses eventually culminating in some kind of final battle. And there seems to be a class system, so you're not creating a character, you're picking from a set amount of characters. I think they said there's 8 of them, and they all come pre-packaged with stats and abilities and whatnot. Sounds like it could be cool, especially with this being co-op. I'm not one of those people who thinks Elden Ring is perfect, which according to the internet means I hate it. So I am interested to see how things in the gameplay and whatnot change to acclimate to the new format, because if they're good enough changes, they may just stick around. What's just as interesting as the game's layout is probably the fact that the Firekeeper and Nameless King from Dark Souls appear to be present in the trailer, despite this being an Elden Ring game, which is very intriguing and cool. We may be seeing some confirmation that Elden Ring and Dark Souls are in fact interconnected. I remember when Elden Ring first came out telling my friend that I thought it'd be cool if when you beat the game it revealed itself and changed the title to Dark Souls 4: Elden Ring, just because so many assets are carried over, and even just flat out several enemies from Dark Souls just appear in Elden Ring with little to no changes. But maybe down the line both series will now finally be brought together. We'll have to wait and see. But yes, this is a cool, unexpected announcement, and I hope it's a good game when it comes out. Staying on co-op, I'll really quickly talk about Hazelight Studios' new game, Split Fiction. I don't play Hazelight games, not even It Takes Two. They just never looked too appealing to me, but Split Fiction looks pretty good, and it is specifically very tonally in line with the interests of a friend of mine, so I may end up playing Split Fiction. No promises, but it could happen, and I'm not opposed to it. The game looks good. And sticking with co-op even further, there was also Borderlands 4's gameplay reveal, and I don't have much to say. It looked exactly like Borderlands. We know what it is, we know what the game is gonna do and how it's gonna feel. It's another Borderlands, and that's cool, that's fine. I'm gonna play it. Am I the most excited? No, not at all, but I'm gonna play it. Just turn my brain off and do another Borderlands. But yeah, after that we got a fighting game reveal, the official reveal of a new Virtua Fighter, even if that reveal came with very little information. There was a new design for main man Akira and a very brief blurry look at some pre-alpha footage, but at least everything's official now. We knew this game was coming, but now we officially know, right? Clearly with how little they showed, this is also a 2026 or 7 situation, but it's cool. Take your time. Virtua Fighter is the boomerist of fighting games, so they've kinda got a lot to address in order to come back and stick around. I'm not part of the older group that has a fondness for Virtua Fighter, but I like fighting games. I'll take more good ones, and I don't like that Tekken is currently the only 3D fighting game. So hopefully this new Virtua Fighter actually ends up being something worth playing. Also, I'm just gonna go ahead and talk about the Tekken guest character reveal, who was none other than Clive from Final Fantasy 16. And I've been seeing a lot of talk about Clive being the choice, and my thoughts on it are, I think it's a good pick. I like the pick, you know? Obviously, it harkens back to Noctis being in 7, and I like that they're sticking with Final Fantasy. Now, obviously, the big trend has become Tifa in Tekken, and I agree with that. I want that too. But they probably picked Clive before that Tifa and Tekken thing had a big boom, you know? Listen, Clive looks really cool. Final Fantasy 16 was not my favorite game or anything. I thought it was good, I thought it was fine, but it wasn't my favorite game. But still, I think Clive is a cool pick. Clive is cool. I like Ben Starr, shout out Ben Starr. And again, I like that they're sticking Final Fantasy in the game again and nodding back to the reveal of Noctis, you know? But Clive is better than Noctis, come on. Who the fuck likes Noctis? So yeah, that's just my quick little 2 cents. And listen, for everyone who wants Tifa, including myself, don't worry. I promise you, by the end of this game's life cycle, because Tekken 8 is gonna have season upon season upon season, even if we get her as late as we could possibly get her, it'll probably be like season 4. Tifa's gonna show up. By the end of this game, Tifa will appear, I promise you, because they know how much you want her now, and I promise you they're gonna get it done. So don't worry, you may have to wait, it may be years, but she will be in Tekken 8, I promise. Okay, moving on. After that though, we have Capcom. And these motherfuckers just won't stop, will they? They're on top of the world. Resident Evil games are selling, Monster Hunter is selling, and new ones are getting hyped as fuck. Street Fighter is in a better position than it's been in years, and Capcom just has money to play with. They're doing all kinds of shit. Here's some money for weird Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, and while we're here at the Game Awards, we're bringing back Onimusha and Okami. Onimusha hasn't had a brand new game in more than a decade, and it'll have been 20 years since the first Okami when we eventually get this sequel. And although Okami is a beloved cult classic, it didn't really sell that well. So this is kinda crazy and just tells you how good of a position Capcom is in. Now personally, I can't say I'll be playing the Okami sequel whenever that comes out, but I am interested in this new Onimusha, despite the fact that I have no history with the series. My only hope is that it isn't a Souls-like, because it was kinda giving big Neo vibes in the reveal trailer, but I don't think I want that. Either way though, these were cool to see announced. Onimusha Way of the Sword and Okami 2. Unfortunately, Way of the Sword isn't coming until 2026, and Okami just started production, so these games are kinda in the distance. Anyway though, lastly we have what was our final announcement of the night, and it was a big one. The reveal of Naughty Dog's new project, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. The first brand new IP from Naughty Dog in over 15 years. And as you may expect of Naughty Dog, this reveal trailer was purely cinematic. So not a lot to know, not a lot revealed except for some of the actors in the game, but really who cares? There are actors in a Naughty Dog game. You know, it's not a big headline. The exciting thing here is that it's a new IP and not The Last of Us 3, which had kind of been leaked and rumored for a while. Now, although the trailer is a cinematic, it's still all in-engine, and the last bit of the trailer where the main character lights up her laser sword and runs at a big robot is clearly framed in a way to mimic what gameplay may look like. So that's probably our first hint at gameplay. I have to say, while I find this exciting and am definitely interested in playing this, I do hope it's not typical Naughty Dog, because as crazy as it may sound, as it stands currently, Naughty Dog is like my least favorite first party PlayStation studio. They just make movie games where being a game takes a complete backseat to cinematics and narrative. It's not even a good balance. And call me crazy, but I come to games mostly for the game part, and they haven't cared too much about that part for a long time. So I hope Intergalactic just has more gameplay focus to it, and making it fun to play is a priority over proving that you can make a movie out of a video game. Sorry if that sounded cynical. I'm not trying to slam Naughty Dog, I'm just saying. But okay, that's all I really wanted to talk about. Those are the games I felt were worth mentioning for me. Feel free to let me know what you thought of any of them, and what you think of the Game Awards in general this year. As I said, I thought this was a really good show, but go ahead and drop all of your opinions down in the comments. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more commentary on games and the games industry every single week without fail. Regardless of what you do though, thanks for watching, and until next time, I am WaifuBelector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai, and I like game announcements. Goodbye.